Welcome, welcome, welcome back to the Born a Levi experience here on G.O.C.C Media. I am your host, your beloved brother and deacon, Hazak. Back with another one here on G.O.C.C Media, Born a Levi experience, back from Tabernacles. Let's get it. Y'all see the title of discussion tonight, right? The one world conspiracy in plain sight. And we're going to talk about it this evening. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you guys for staying up. Let's get right into it.
This is the Born of Levi experience on G.O.C.C Media.
Yes. All praises be to the Most High. And his name is Ahaya in the ancient Hebrew tongue. And for those of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, all I said was I am. I am that I am. That's the name that he gave Moses in the burning bush. Just go back and read Exodus chapter 3, verse 13 on down. Yes, how we all doing? We're back from Tabernacles. We're back into the workforce. I don't know about y'all, but this week was a drag for me. Just trying to reacclimate myself back into the workforce after being in Tabernacles, man. And how many of you guys enjoyed Tabernacles, man? How many of you guys were enjoying Tabernacles if you kept it? And I just want to give the Most High a big round of applause for allowing this Feast of Tabernacles to be so beautiful, man. Like the weather all week was just so great. And the Most High was very merciful when it came to the weather for us. It rained one time, but it rained while we were sleeping. So we didn't really experience no rain. But the Most High was merciful. Everybody was working together. You know, the unity that was felt amongst the brethren, amongst the sisters, amongst the leadership, everybody working together to make sure Tabernacles was, kept perfectly and in order. Shout out to all of, let me clap it up for them. Shout out to all of the leadership that was there, all of the leadership that put their hands to the plow, all of the brothers and sisters who put their hands to the plow, the cooks, everybody, right? Praise the Most High for you all. It was a blessed Tabernacles, and if you had a blessed Tabernacles as well, also put it in the chat too. I want to know, right? But yeah, we're back into the system from camping for a week. And I don't know about y'all, it was a struggle. Like that Monday going back into work, I was like in slow motion. Then the week started picking up and now we're here on Thursday. It's like, what? But praise the Most High. These days is just flying. All right, it's just flying. But like I ask you guys every week, if I'm coming in nice and clear, please drop a quam in the chat for me. Please drop a quam in the chat. Just so I can know that the sound is coming in nice and clear and you guys have good audio, and I don't want there to be any distractions tonight. Right, just put a quam in the chat for me real quick, and we could get this thing rolling. Right, but all praises be to the Most High again, once again. Y'all see the topic of discussion, and once again, shout out to everybody who's on right now. It's late, and this is the time that I come in, and I want y'all to know something as well too. I love y'all for real. Okay, Deacon Hazak loves y'all because I just came through the doors. My baby is crawling on the floor. He's crawling to me, talking about some dad. My other son's playing around and they run into me. I'm mushing them out the way. Look, I gotta get upstairs. I gotta start screaming. Right? My wife was like, the food is on the, I'm like, all right, I'll get to it after. So just know I love y'all. Okay. That the first thing that came in my mind when I came through those doors, like, I gotta get online. So listen, I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing this for y'all. I'm doing this for us. So praise the Most High, right? But we're gonna get right into it. Y'all see the topic, man. The one world conspiracy in plain sight. And I want to talk about that because this week for those of you guys who don't know, and for those of you guys who don't live in New York, this week is UN week, where all of the world leaders come to New York to where the UN is. The UN is actually in Manhattan on First Avenue, right there on 42nd Street and First Avenue. So this week is UN week, and all of the world leaders are here, and they're all speaking. And I just find it weird. Well, I don't know if I want to say weird, because the scriptures already explains to us the confederacy that they have against the Most High's hidden ones, right? And I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna read about that. But this week is UN week, right? So the UN is crazy. If you work in Manhattan, it's crazy traffic in that area in the Lower East Side, right? Traffic, it's just a whole bunch, right? They uploaded a video yesterday. I think it's like 11 hours of different leaders from the world, from around the world, coming up and speaking about points, and I guess addressing the audience as far as the views from around the world. Some of their views was very interesting. One that I seen that was very interesting is the the president of the Ukraine, right? What's his name? Zelensky, and how he spoke and how he addressed the crowd. And one thing that stuck out to me is he mentioned, and if you've seen it, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But he mentioned how he started off is by one thing that no one could change is violence. And the world is ran by violence, is ran by weapons and the power of weapons. And he was, speaking about how much money they spend on, making sure that they have weapons, because that's the only thing people respect. And I was like, okay. Because like in the beginning, I never understood why they come together. But now that I'm getting older and I'm starting to pay attention more, I'm starting to realize why they come together and what they're addressing. I mean, and one thing I want to put out there, all of this is a show. The world is a stage. It's all a stage. It's a stage, and you're gonna understand why I'm saying that with this with tonight's broadcast, right? But as you come in, brothers and sisters, please do me a favor. Please hit that like button, right? Drive the algorithms to let people know that I'm on. If you're new to this channel as well, too, please subscribe. You help out a lot by subscribing and just hitting the like button and pushing the message forward. Also, I would like to also announce the Hebrew and Bible Academy, which started September 7th already. So if you would like to enroll in the Hebrew and Bible Academy and get your Sunday morning daily dose of academia or biblical academia, here's your place, right? Visit us at historytimes.org and enroll in our Hebrew and Bible Academy. It's not too late, right? You see, the theme of this academy is revelation, the mysteries of the spiritual realm. So you don't want to miss out. You see the lessons here: creation, the origin of the spirit realm, right? We go in depth with that. Tracing the serpent's seed, how Lucifer became the chief Satan. Yes, there's a backstory. All right, he didn't just pop up and just was Satan. Right, there's a backstory to that. Christ and the keys to the spiritual warfare. A lot of people don't understand that we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Right, that crazy person that you may see talking to themselves on the street corner or on the bus or on the train, that person is not crazy. The world has deemed them as crazy. But what you're experiencing or what you're seeing in your face is demonic possession in your face. Right? A lot of people don't Relegate that to spiritual possession or being demonically possessed. We're so used to the Hollywood version of being possessed, where you see the person sitting on a chair and their head spinning, and their tongue is all out, and they're spitting and they're crawling. All right, that's one aspect of demonic possession. But there's many different forms of demonic possession that we're seeing every day, but you don't count it as a demonic attack. Right. So in this academy, you'll understand how to identify that and how to overcome these things. Right. We also got the craft, the priesthood of Satan versus the priesthood of God. And that's always been an attack. And right now, what you're witnessing on TV, on the news, are the priests of Satan operating under the cloak of philanthropy, or just giving the news, or charity, or entertainment, movies, the arts, right? They're infiltrating our homes through media, right? Now they got a new tool, AI, and I'm going to show you something about AI a little later too. This is crazy what they're able to do with AI now. Also, you see, look, if you want to know more about AI, look, we got that lesson in the academy, AI, technology and the mark of the beast, which is soon coming to a city, town, country near you. So brothers and sisters, don't neglect that. Visit us at historytimes.org and enroll. A lot of information that comes out in this Hebrew and Bible Academy, and you don't want to miss it because you're invited, right? So now let's get right into it. What prompted me? Where's that video? Right here. What prompted me to going into this conversation tonight? And it's not just the recent events with that I don't know if he's an activist, if he was a political figure. You can't scroll through Instagram or YouTube without seeing about this guy, Charlie Kirk. Elder and I, and Elder Lawya, we was talking about him briefly last week, but understanding that certain things is coming into place because of that, that shooting, so to speak, or whatever it is, but we're going to talk about that too. And there's a reason why a lot of these things are coming into place, because we spoke about it on this channel before, and understanding the countdown to 2030, right? We understand that there is a countdown. The world elites have a clock, and their clock is ticking, and they need to put the world in a certain level of control, I should say, by the year 2030. That's their goal. That's their aim. For some reason, 2030 is their number, right? But I seen this video, and what's crazy is this video came out 2 years ago, and it jogged my mind to go into this topic, to talk about that one world conspiracy that's really in plain sight. And just like how I mentioned earlier, how this week is the UN week, where all of the world leaders from around the world, they gather at the United Nations. And how ironic that the United Nations, or the UN, is located here in New York. And for those of you guys who may knows what I'm hinting at, if you know, you know. But it's just funny how all of the world leaders are here in New York for this week, gathered all together here. Matter of fact, let me read this before I even show this video. Let me read this first. I just need y'all to think about that. I just need y'all to think about that. Out of all of the places, out of all of the countries, out of all of the cities in the world, they're here in New York. Right? Let me read this real quick. Revelations 18:1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitations of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and cage of every unclean and hateful bird. So this place called Babylon, right? It's a mystery Babylon. All of the world leaders are here right now. It says, for all, let me highlight this. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth have waxed rich through her abundance of her delicacies. I mean, that's the only scripture that just come to mind when I think of this UN week. It's just striking coincidence to me. I don't know. Striking coincidence. Out of all of the places in the world, out of all of the cities in the world where y'all can meet, y'all here. Y'all put the uniting of all nations here in New York, Manhattan. It's just strikingly weird. But nonetheless, I'll come back to that. I'll come back to these world leaders, right? That's committing fornication with the whore, Babylon the Great. But now this video came up, or this video was out 2 years ago, and I ran into it yesterday while scrolling through Instagram, whatever the case is, right? And I wanted to play it because I don't want any of us to lose sight of what's before us. I don't want any of us to lose sight of what's going on in the world. And like I said at the beginning, the world is a stage, right? They deal with a lot of misdirection. And it's like Elder was saying, don't be surprised, they come up with a documentary of who killed Charlie Kirk and all this other stuff, right? Keeping the trail going to keep you enticed, keep you engaged. While they got you engaged in the death of a man that none of us even really cared too much about before this even happened. A lot of us didn't even know he existed before this. While they got us watching that, they're planning, they're meeting, they're dictating the future for you and your children. But they got you focusing on Charlie Kirk. They got you focusing on the VMAs. They got you focusing on the next basketball game, the next football game. They got you focusing on the lottery. They got you focusing on everything that don't matter. But they're planning out your future. And they're counting it down. So I don't want any of us to lose sight of what the Most High has shown us. Right? The Most High, and I always say this, the Most High, he's a just God. Right? He's also a loving God. Right? He loves us so much to the point where that he's even given us insight to how to prepare outside of what the enemy is doing, outside of what the heathen is doing, because they're gonna do what they're gonna do. They're gonna do what they want to do. And what kind of God would our God be if he didn't prepare his chosen? He didn't prepare and sever out for himself a people for himself and keep them safe and keep them out of harm's way. The majority of the people on this earth, they already have chosen a side. Yeah. And that's what we all have to understand. A lot of our friends, a lot of our family members, a lot of our coworkers, they already have chosen a side. By not choosing a side, they have already chose a side. So what's going to come to them is what's going to come to them. It's unfortunate. But like Christ said, blessed are your eyes because they see. Blessed are your ears because they can hear. Right? So now let's take a look at this. And like I said, this was 2 years ago, right? So fair use, right? I'm using this for educational purposes only, right? So let's pay attention to this conversation here.
We're undergoing a soft coup, and the idea is to create a whole new set of laws and ignore the existing human rights laws and other laws.
The goal is to what? Ignore, to come up with new laws and to ignore the current civil rights laws. Y'all heard that? Or was it just me that heard that? Hold on. Let me play it back real quick. What? I'm going to try not to pause it too much so y'all can get the meat of what she's saying.
The idea is to create a whole new set of laws and ignore the existing human rights laws and other laws under the pretext of pandemic preparedness and the biosecurity agenda. The WHO is developing through all its nations, but with the WHO Directorate in the United States in charge, a pandemic treaty and amendments to the existing international health regulations that will remove the human rights protections currently embedded in the IHRs.
So she's basically explaining what the WHO is doing. For those of you guys who don't know what the WHO is the World Health Organization, right? The World Health Organization. So there's an organization for the whole world when it comes to health. So they want to undermine the current human rights laws that we all have and come up with new laws and come up with a new agenda when it comes to the world's health. Now the question is, why would they need to do that? What's wrong with the way things are now? Are we asking for this? Like I said, while you're focusing on the next game that's coming out, going shopping, going on vacation, all of this stuff, we have these people, right, who's controlling the world, that's getting ready to dictate the rest of your life and for your children.
Will enforce surveillance, censorship, get rid of freedom of speech, require governments.
And keep that in mind, what you just said. What they're looking to do is to get rid of freedom of what? Speech. And she was saying this 2 years ago. They're looking forward. They're looking towards getting rid of freedom of speech, right? What else she said? She said freedom of speech. She said something else. Freedom of speech, and she said something else. Let me play it back just a little bit.
Require governments to censor and only push a single narrative.
Censorship. So they want to silence free thinkers and freedom of speech, right? They want censorship, and they want the government to be responsible to push a narrative, to give you the script and just watch the play. No longer can you have a platform where you bring your own point of view, right? So by 2030, platforms like this where we could speak freely, and give you the word of God like the way we're doing it right now, they're looking to eradicate that. And it's not by coincidence that what happened September 10th with Charlie Kirk happened, because you know why? It's actually right on schedule. It's on the schedule of what they need to do. They need a series of events to be able to strip the powers from you and me, from us. So they have to create the problem so that way they can bring forth the solution. The world is a stage. Don't ever look at any of these things that you see on the TV or see on media and have your hearts and your emotions engaged in it, because they're planning it. It's their world. It's their technology. It's their media. It's their airwaves.
Also, we will be subject, if they can make this work, to vaccines developed in 100 days, which the organization CEPI is planning to do. And one of the people who founded CEPI was Jeremy Farrar, who is now the chief scientist at the WHO, to bring this forward. Other things that amendments do is to bind the states so they're no longer recommendations but enforceable edicts, provide a liability shield, get rid of intellectual property rights, move supplies from one country to another, enforce digital passports, and the Director General of WHO can demand that a pandemic or a potential pandemic exists. He can just declare it with no standards, and then countries around the world will have to obey. Also, the WHO will tell you what drugs you can and can't use in your nation once a pandemic is declared. Obviously, the budget will increase. One Health is another part of this. One Health is a concept that was created to enable the WHO, with these documents, to take over jurisdiction of everything in the world, by saying that climate change, animals, plants, water systems, ecosystems are all central to health. Also embedded in this concept is a peculiar notion that humans are no longer of greater value than animals.
Humans are no greater value than animals. So this is what the WHO, this is what they're planning for 2030. So this is why we're gonna start seeing a lot of things, a lot of events happening that's aligning with what they're trying to take away from us. They create the problem and they're gonna bring forth the solution. How many of y'all heard of this saying before? Order out of chaos. That's the way they think. That's the way these people think. We'll bring the order, but first there must be the chaos. Who's bringing forth the chaos? Order out of chaos. That's their model. Y'all, what do you think 9/11 was about? It was a money grab. Best believe that, because right before those planes hit the towers, right, there was a lot of insurance policies that was put in place right before, coincidentally, right a week before, the towers got hit, and you see the fingers hit, because we know they would know, we just think we're gonna say the towers were hit. Fingers, y'all see them, right? So 9/11, they did that. Then a whole bunch of laws was placed on the books. They had to fix it. Right? Order out of chaos. This is where we at. So, let me see. Look at this. And I think I showed this on the I think I showed this on this channel before. So we all understand the World Health Organization. And now look, I'm on their website. This ain't my website. This is their website. You see? World Health Organization. Look at them. They all locking hands. Right? These are the crazed maniacs that's behind shaping your future. These people right here. World Health Assembly adopts historic pandemic agreement to make the world more equitable and safer from future pandemics. And this article was written May of this year. Right? Let me make it bigger. Okay? Look at them. They're so happy. Right? Look at this. Agreements adoption follows 3 years of intensive negotiation launched due to gaps by inequities, right? Identified in national. Okay, I don't want to read this. Okay. Member states of the World Health Organization today formally adopted by consensus the world's first pandemic agreement. So this is the first of its kind. This was never a thing. This was never a thing. Remember, they gotta bring the chaos, and then we'll bring the order. It's all a stage, right? Where we at? Look at this. World Health Organization, and this was in June. Pandemic Prevention, Preparedness, and Response Agreement. This is it right here. Right? It says member states, and here's another thing too. You got to understand who the member states are. But I'm going to show you. It says member states of the World Health Organization agreed to a global process to draft and negotiate a convention, agreement, or other international instruments under the WHO Constitution to strengthen pandemic prevention. And now the thing is, how can you prevent a pandemic? A pandemic is something that just happens and is like, yo, it's just out of nowhere. How do you prevent it? Preparedness and response. The pandemic agreement was adopted on 20th of May, 2025 at the 78th World Health Assembly through resolution. So this is the code resolution WHA 78.1, which also established an intergovernmental working group to conclude the work on the pandemic agreement so that it may be open for signature and ratification by WHO member states. So only those member states have the right to ratify the original contract. But we don't have a say. The people who they're trying to protect, quote unquote, don't have a say in what's in that agreement. Only those who are members of that organization can talk about it, which are the heads of states or the leaders of each country or state. They have they're preparing for our future, but we don't have a say on what we deem is safe or unsafe for us. Interesting, right? It says, why did whose member state decide to create an agreement for pandemic preparedness and response? Let's see what they have to say. It says, in light of the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and in particular, the inequities witnessed in pandemic response, whose 194 member states decided to draft and negotiate an agreement or other international instruments to address pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response. This was driven by the need to ensure communities, governments, and all sectors of society within countries and globally are better prepared and protected to prevent and respond more equitably to future pandemics, the great loss of human life, disruption to households and societies at large, and impact on development are among the factors cited by governments to support the need for lasting action to prevent a repeat of such crisis. So they created the problem. Now we have the solution. So now you may ask, who are these 194 member states? Right? So it says, I got this here. It says, I'm still on their website. It says countries. It says, all countries which are members of the United Nations may become members of who? By accepting its constitution. And like I said, this week is what? The UN week, where all the world leaders from around the world are here in New York addressing world problems. So these 194 member states are all the countries which are members of the United Nations. Interesting. It's interesting that they are all the members of the World Health Organization. It says, where was I? It says other countries may be admitted as members when their application has been approved. So you got to apply to be a part of this group. You can't just join because you're your own country. You have to apply. So it says other countries may be admitted, as members when their application has been approved by a simple majority vote of the World Health Assembly. Territories which are not responsible for the conduct, of their international relationships may be admitted as associated members upon the application made on their behalf. So you can invite a member state. So now here's all of the countries that are, and yes, these countries are part of the United Nations, which is crazy. You got Afghanistan, Albania, Algeria. I'm just gonna do a quick rundown. The Bahamas, Bangladesh, Brazil. Did I say no? Not Brazil. Belgium, Belize. Right? Y'all see this? Oh yeah, Brazil is here right here. Look, these are all the Cameroons, China, all of these nations. Look at these nations, all of them. Egypt, Ecuador, El Salvador. Right? They're all part of the United Nations. Haiti, you in there? They probably not even listen to them when they speak. They're like, all right, Haiti, all right, just say what you got to say. 15 minutes. All right, that's enough. Indonesia. Look at this. I want to show this. Iran is part of the UN, or is part of the World Health Organization. Not just Iran, Israel. So these, and this is why, and when I seen this, I'm like, yeah, this is how I know. This is how we got to know the world is a stage. These two countries are at war. Where am I? Come on, what happened? Let me go back. These two countries are at war, but yet they're both a part of the United Nations. I thought y'all was united. Let me see something. Let me see something. Let me go down to, let me see if Palestine is on this joint. Philippines. Oh, Palestine. Pakistan. Okay. Palestine is not in there. Not Palestine. What I'm looking for? Who they at war with? The Palestinians, yeah, but I don't see them here. Wow, they don't even have a seat. The Palestinians don't even have a seat in the UN. But I just find that interesting. I just wanted to point that out. That these two countries, which are at war with each other, but they sit in the same seat. They sit in the same town hall meetings, right, annually, and discuss plans. But I went here to prove that the scriptures don't lie. And which brings me to this scripture right here. Right? Which brings me to this scripture right here. Not in Revelations. Give me one second. In Psalms 83. And for those of you who don't know Psalms 83, Psalms 83 is what can help us understand this one world conspiracy. Because it doesn't make any sense that two nations that are at war with each other, but then they sit in the same room to discuss plans on the world's health, and they agree on that. But they can't agree not to stop blowing each other to smithereens. But we could sit down and agree when it comes to world health. What good is your health if you're not even going to be alive to even take care of your health? You're not even going to have a country to even go back to. So Psalms 83 teaches us, and it shows us, it says, keep not thy silent, O God, and hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. Why? For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They what? They have taken crafty counsel. So the counsel is very crafty. So on the surface, right, it looks like, okay, we all the world leaders, we're coming together to help out and to make change. But there's a hidden agenda behind this council. They all come together with one consent. It says what? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. So ultimately, we understand who the aim is. But what's so unfortunate is that all of the people on the earth is in the crosshairs, because the aim is us. But if you're in the way, you'll just get steamrolled right along with them. So at the end of the day, we're all in the same boat. So it's best that we band together. But you know what? They can't have us band together. They have to create the problem, right? Remember I said that. They have to create the problem. Keep that in mind. It says, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. What? They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And this is how you know it is prophetic and is speaking about us, because to my knowledge, there is a group of people bearing the name of Israel right now. who actually sit on the same seat as them. So that confederacy is not against them or modern day state of Israel. But like the scripture says, the hidden ones. Because some people would say that this is not a real prophecy because the state of Israel is the state of Israel. They're thriving. This happened already. Oh, did it? Because according to this, it says they came together to cut off the name of Israel, that they may not be a nation anymore. To my knowledge, the state of Israel, or the Israeli state of Israel, or the Jewish state of Israel, is still in remembrance, is operating. But who could they be talking about? What? For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. So that means that coming together, that United Nations, that them coming together to speak on world problems, they're not speaking about a problem on the surface. They're confederate against the God of Israel. That's who they're concerned about. That's who they have a problem with. That's the reason why they could have a World Health Organization. Right? That's the reason why they could all be in one consent to mandate world vaccines. They could all be in one consent to remove human rights laws and create and give you new laws. There's a reason why they're all in consent and say, you know what? By 2030, you'll own nothing and be happy. Who is the aim? According to Psalms 83, the scriptures is telling us who the aim is. The Most High's hidden ones. Who are the Most High hidden ones? The children of Israel, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, suffering under the hands of the oppressors. And if you didn't guess it, yes, we are the children of Israel. I don't care what they're telling you on the news. I don't care what these apologetics, what these mainstream Christians are saying. Oh, they're not God's chosen people. Yeah, okay. If we're not, then leave us alone. Don't talk about us. Let us be. But they can't. They can't let us be. They can't just let us live on our own accord. Because if you just look at it, you come down neighborhoods, we ain't doing nothing. We just hanging out, playing basketball, going to the store, trying to feed our families. Some of us trying to work, trying to make ends meet. Nobody in the ghettos right now has a plot for world domination. No one in the ghettos right now have access to weapons of mass destruction. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the financial backing to do that. Nobody in the hoods, in the ghettos right now, concerning our people, have enough military might to go and pursue and attack another nation. But yet it seems we are the focal point. All of these nations, all of these world leaders are focusing on broke people that live in the hood, that barely have enough money to make ends meet. But we got to keep laws on the books for them. We got to keep oppressing them. We got to keep them on the bottom. Why us? Why keep us on the bottom? What did we do? We don't have anything to rival them. Now you understand who are the Most High hidden ones. Now you see why the council and the crafty council is against us. Because if they leave us alone to our own devices, we will eventually assume our position according to prophecy. And they can't have us ruling. They understand our kingdom comes after theirs. So they got to keep us on the bottom. So this is the reason why they got to have their yearly meetings. This is the reason why they have to come together and decide your future fate. That's the reason why. Because what's in you is far more greater than what they're telling you, what you can see. They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, right? Edom, the chief house, right? The ones who's ruling right now. And last time I checked, it ain't a black man that's ruling this earth right now. And the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, Moab, right? The Palestinians, the Hagarenes, all of these families. Look, Gabal, Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines, all these are biblical names. But you can trace these biblical names to a nation right now on this earth. All of these nations have come together. Look, let me read this. It says, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession? That's what they said. That's the reason why they don't want to let our people go. That's the reason why they'll never give you or give us reparations. Because we're their possessions. They think we're their possessions. They can't let us go. This is the reason why they got to keep us in these menial jobs. Because who's going to do them? They're not going to do them. They're not going to be the chefs. They're not going to be the cleaners. They're not going to be the bus drivers. They're not going to be, the lowest of the lows. They're not going to do those jobs. If they was to leave us alone and give us reparations and we go build outside of this country, do you know what would happen to the United States? Do you know what would happen to this country? What would happen? The economy would go down because why? We are the workhorses of this country. We actually move this country, this economy. Think about it. It says, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. Oh my God, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountain on fire, so persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. So that's soon to happen. The Most High didn't forget what they've done to the children of Israel here on this soil. Starting with our brothers and sisters, the Native American Indians, Gad, here in America. The Most High didn't forget what they've done. How they were able to overcome the Native American Indians and basically take control of this country. How they brought us over on slave ships and sold us on auction blocks. The Most High never forgot that. Using our babies as gator bait. And all the horrific things that we could read about in history concerning our people. The Most High never forgot none of that. What was happening to our brothers and sisters in the islands before we was placed here in America as well too. The Most High didn't forget that. So the Most High is gonna repay. But before the Most High repays, they're making sure they get everything out of us and out of this place before the Most High brings forth judgment. So going back to, let me bring this up here now. Me saying that the world is a stage. We're doing great. There's 500 people in here. Please, everybody, if you can, hit that like button. Drive the traffic. Welcome to all those who are coming in. Just hit that like button real quick. Right? So now, understanding this one world conspiracy in plain sight. Remember, we spoke about they create the problem and they bring forth the solution. Let me pull this back up. Order out of chaos. And to me, you gotta be a madman to create this kind of slogan. You gotta be a psycho. I'm gonna create chaos. People are gonna lose their lives. People are gonna lose their lives. People are gonna get hurt. Right? We may go bankrupt, but we're doing this to bring forth order. You have to be a madman to think like this. It doesn't make any sense. But that's how they gain control. Right? So now, going back to that Charlie Kirk character, there was something I wanted to bring forth here. There's something that I want to bring forth here. Oh, matter of fact, let me play this video. I was talking about this last week as well too. And what we see happening right now is a mixture of things. But the first video that I played earlier, she was talking about removing certain rights from us, taking away freedom of speech, right? And they have to create a provocation to be able to enforce and put things on the books against us. Yeah, and I was talking about this last week, where there was a video of white men saying white men fight back. I don't know if you guys seen this. Hold on, let me play this on the screen. Look at this. Is there any sound? Oh, hold on. There's no sound. 1 second. Let me give y'all some sound. Give y'all some sound. I don't want it to be too loud. It'll sound distorted if it's too loud. So now, I don't know if any of you guys seen this video. Let me know if you guys seen this video. And this was a day after, and it's crazy. This was a day after Charlie Kirk was shot. Right? You got a whole bunch of white men protesting white men fight back. The question is, what are they fighting back against? I never knew that white people or white men were under attack. Are they under attack? I'm not too sure. Can somebody help me out here? Did somebody have a flag that said Jesus on it? Is that a flag that says Jesus? Yeah, there was a flag that said Jesus on it. So they got a flag out there that says Jesus on it. And they're saying white man fight back. I'm still trying to figure out what are they fighting back against? Who are they fighting back against? And look, they have to create this turmoil between whites and blacks. Because why? According to the World Health Organization, they want to strip power from everybody. According to Psalms 83, we know that God's people are the aim, but they don't care who get caught in the crosshairs. So white people and black people, we all have something in common. Self-preservation. But the powers that shouldn't be have figured out a way to keep us at odds, so we can never see the midget behind the curtain that's pulling the strings, like in the Wizard of Oz. You had the wizard creating all of the mischief. And then when they pulled the curtain back, it was this little guy just pulling strings. That's Lucifer, y'all. That's Satan. Matter of fact, let me prove to y'all that let me prove to y'all how we know that that's Satan. A little midget behind the curtain pulling the strings. He can't even hurt a fly, but he's pulling the strings. Look. This is why I could confidently say that. Oh, is it this? Yep, here we go. I'll come back to the white men fight back. I'll come back to the white man fight back. How art thou? Isaiah 14 and 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken? See, this is what he's doing. Which didst weaken the nations. You was cut down to the ground, and now you're on earth weakening the nations. So I just want to let y'all know, Satan don't have a bias. Yeah, he hates the seed of Israel, because why? Israel brought forth the man child that defeats him. But he hates Israel the most, the children of Israel the most, because we brought forth Christ. But he also hates all humanity, because why? We're all made in the image of God. Every last one of us is made in God's image. So every time he see man and woman, he sees the image of the God that hurled him. When he sees the family structure, man, husband, wife, and children, he sees the order that God established from the beginning, and he hates that image. This is the reason why he pushed the LGBTQ community. This is why he pushing this alternative lifestyle. You don't want to be a boy? Fine, be a girl. You don't want to be a girl? Fine, be a boy. Do what you want. Do as thou wilt. Order out of chaos. The scriptures clearly tells us what he's here doing. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? Right? Look at this. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell. That's where he's headed. But the thing is, he knows that's where he's going. This is the reason why he has to create all of this chaos, all of this friction, all of this confusion, keep whites and blacks against each other. Because the struggle happened from the womb. So he used that situation where Jacob and Esau was in the womb. He used that situation to fuel this lifelong battle between us. But we're more similar than we think. It's just that one of us got the promise and the other one doesn't. But we're more similar than we think. It says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Look at this. This is how we know. We're going to look at it like, look at, this is the midget that was behind the curtain the whole time. This is what we're going to say. Look, we're going to say, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee. The scripture said we're going to be looking at him mad confused, like, him? This was the guy? It says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, like, yo, wait, what? This was him? The whole time he did all of this? Saying, is this the man? Is this the man that made the earth to tremble? That did shake kingdoms? Because y'all got to understand, he's a mere man now. Lucifer is on earth, but he's been stripped of all his powers. But what separates him from the rest is the knowledge and wisdom that he obtained from up above. So he has a lot of knowledge and ingenuity. He's controlling the earth through his knowledge, giving them insight of certain things, teaching them certain things. But he's a mere man. Is this the man that made the earth to tremble? That did shake kingdoms? That made, verse 17, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof? That opened not the house of his prisoners? All the kings of the nations, even all them, lie in glory, even one in his own house. You see that? But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the remnant of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under foot. That's he could be easily taken out. Basically, he could be easily taken out. But when we see him, we're gonna narrowly look upon him like, yo, this is the man. This little guy, this twerp, was pulling the strings behind us. He was able to control all of these nations. He gave them all of these weapons of mass destruction. See what I'm saying? He has to create the issue. He has to keep us separated, because why? He's at war with all of us. I wish I was there. I wish I had a megaphone, and I wish I was there, and I would have said, fight back against what? Like, what's wrong? What happened? Are you guys oppressed? Are you guys being racially discriminated against? Like, are you guys descendant of slaves? Like, what? Y'all got it good here. Y'all white men. Like, what? This is y'all kingdom. What are y'all fighting back against? Fight back! And mind you, this was a day after the supposed shooting of Charlie Kirk. Right? Hold on, there's something else I want to bring out here. Look, they got to keep fueling. They got to keep fueling the racial tension. And that started from a white man getting shot. And look at this. How bizarre. But this was posted. Well, this person named Mike Benz tweeted this the day before the shooting, and it was reposted by Elon Musk the day of the shooting. The day of the shooting, 3:24 in the morning. The world is a stage. So apparently, and this is news to me, you know, shout out to the, you know, to the person sending me these articles and stuff like that, right? This was news to me. I did not know that this was a thing, right? Apparently, white people or white men are upset with the New York Times for putting the word white in lower caps, the W in lower caps, and putting the word black with a capital B. They're upset about that. Like, they don't want black people to dominate in anything. Like, white supremacy is a real thing. I mean, they don't want to say it outright, but it's evident. It's a thing. Because for them to be upset about this, good Lord. I'm afraid to see. I'm not afraid, but I want to see their faces when Christ cracked the sky. when they see is a black man on a white horse with a white garment on. I want to see how they gonna feel when Christ cracked the sky. Y'all complaining about having a lowercase w in front of the word white when addressing white people? This is crazy. Like what? So look at this. It says the Jenga tower of mental BS they built to justify permanent racial discrimination against white people in news reporting. So now I guess white people feel that they're being racially discriminated against. This is interesting. So it says why. So the New York Times took the time to address why they're doing it. But white people have a problem with this. It says why we're capitalizing black. It says the Times has changed its style on the term's usage to better reflect a shared cultural identity. Here's what led to that decision. So moving forward, the New York Times, whenever they are talking about black people, they will make the B capital. But when they're talking about white people, they're making the W lowercase. But understand this, brothers and sisters. This is all fuel to the fire. They have to incite the racial tensions because no one is bent out of shape off of racial tensions anymore. This ain't the 1960s where segregation exists, or I gotta look, or when I'm talking to a white person, I gotta have my head down and not looking them in the eyes. Like black people we don't really pay attention. We're not paying attention to racial tensions. That don't exist to us no more. Like being called the N-word, if a white person used the word nigger, that don't get us mad anymore. And when I say us, if you still getting mad, like those who still get mad at the N-word, those are lower level black people, lower level, emotionally driven black people. But that word holds no power over us anymore. Like what? We're in a new era. We're in a new time. But the media and the powers that be, they have to incite these racial tensions against white and black, because it's not even like that anymore between white and black people no more. Look, let's read this. I'm gonna try my best to read it because I'm pulling it off from my phone. I know you're probably not gonna be able to see it, but I'll read it. It says why we will lowercase white. And it's crazy. They're really addressing this. And the only reason why they're addressing this is to show that there's an issue here. There's really no issue. But they're creating an issue. It says AP Styles will continue to lowercase the term white in racial, ethnic, and cultural senses. This decision follows our move last month to capitalize black in such uses. We consulted with a wide group of people internally and externally around the globe and considered a variety of commentary in making these decisions. Right? It says here, there are clear desire and reason to capitalize black. Most notably, people who are black have strong historical and cultural commonalities, which I can agree. We do have similar views culturally as black people. Historically, we all have suffered the same plight, from cargo slave ships to oppression to segregation, right? So I could agree with that. It says, even if they are from different parts of the world, and even if they now live in different parts of the world, that includes the shared experience of discrimination due to solely to the color of one's skin. We can agree with that. But for some reason now, they want to highlight that. Now they want to sympathize with black people and show, okay, you know, we respect all black people now. Look, it says, there is at this time less support for capitalizing white. White people generally do not share the same history and culture or the experience of being discriminated against because of their skin. I too can agree with that. Right? But why highlight that now in the midst of what's happening and what in the public eye of what just happened publicly to a white man? For what? Freedom of speech. In addition, we are a global news organization, and in much of the world, there is considerably disagreement, ambiguity, and confusion about whom the term includes. Hence, we have white man fight back. You can't. You couldn't write a better script even if you tried. The script is written out so perfectly. The lower level of society will fall for this. The lower level of society, white or black, is falling for this. This so-called racial tension. So they got to put it in the public view, and they got to put it in the minds of the people to get people to be up in arms against black people. So black people could be up in arms against white people. They're creating this. Let me see. Let me guess. There's something else I wanted to get to. I have it highlighted here. We played that white man fight back. Oh, there's another good one. Hold on, I'm gonna play that one next. I got another one. Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna play the video right now. Look at this. I need y'all to see this. And shout out to Christopher for sending me this, right?
Or you call for a civil war. Call for a civil war and let us do our thing.
So this was on
Mr.
TikTok.
President, I implore you, call for a civil war.
So shout out to Christopher for sending me this. So here's a Caucasian man, right, calling for Donald Trump to bring forth a civil war. Right? Calling for a civil war. Due to and my thing is, right? Charlie Kirk, he was gunned down. Right? He was gunned down. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? Our thoughts and prayers to his family. What did that have to do with racial tensions between white and black people? What does that have to do with a black man Last I checked, it was white on white crime. So how are they swinging this towards being, or how are they steering this situation and making it a race issue? I don't get it. But let's listen to this guy.
Call for a civil war and let us do our thing.
And let us
door to door.
And let us do our thing. He said, and let us go door to door. Hold on, let me play it back. I want y'all to see.
Mr. President,
Hold on. I want y'all to see the radicals that's waiting and that is eating this thing up and just and is looking for the opportunity to come against us. And mind you, we ain't do nothing to these people. We just here. We just operating. We just playing basketball, going to work, feeding our children, minding our own business. And we got them on the other side saying this.
call for a civil war. Call for a civil war and let us do our thing. Let us go door to door, street by street, and clean this country.
Let us go door by door, street by street, and clean this country. Clean the country from what? What is threatening the existence of white people right now? I'm waiting to hear it. What is threatening the existence of white people here in America as we speak? I wouldn't be surprised if this guy was an actor, paid to say this to incite the lower level whites into a provocation. And that's what and that's the term I'm going to use. Lower level white people and lower level black people. Only the lowest of the lows of our societies feed into this crap. Because it's crap. If you're not infringing on how I live and you're not harming me, I could care less what you're doing. Just keep what you're doing over there. Stay over there and we good. But you know what else too, brothers and sisters? I like the fact that they're coming out openly and speaking their mind. I rather they do that rather than hide behind their profession. Hide behind, okay, yeah, you're a cop, you're a school teacher, you're a mechanic, right? You own the bar up the block, you own this grocery store. Let me know that you're racist. I want to know. So that way I know not to do business with you. So that way you get none of my black money, right? You get none of my black support. I'm fine with it. And honestly, I don't mind segregation. Separate but equal is equal. I believe that. I believe that term was I believe that we should have fought to stay in that lane. But our people was fighting tooth and nail to integrate with Edom. Y'all remember that term? Separate but equal is equal. You know, back then when I was a kid, I didn't understand it, but I understand it now. Why can't we be separate? You over there, I'm over here. I mean, if we choose to come together, that's because we mutually have an understanding and we can coexist. But if we cannot coexist and you don't like me because of my color, because of the color of my skin, all right, stay over there. You don't have to interact with me or my children or my friends and my family. Stay over there. It's all good. I'm still surviving and you're still surviving, so it's okay. But lower level blacks and lower level whites, okay, will fall into this madness. Lower level. He said we are all Charlie Kirk. And like this is how this is how I know this is it's gotta be a script. Because what did his death have to do with race? It wasn't a black man that did this. Edom is writing a Hollywood production as we speak. But like from the video that we played in the beginning, they have to create these events because we're counting down to 2030. This year is already done. We're going to blink and it's going to be 2026. And that's going to leave 4 years on their time clock. So they have to put these things in place so that they could begin to be able to remove certain human right laws from our people, strip us away from these things, taking away a lot of these things so that way the WHO or the World Health Organization could have full right over your life. But they can't do it because there's certain laws in the books that protects us with human right laws. So they can't just take these things away from us because why? We would all band together and revolt. Blacks and whites. But they have to create the problem and be like, you see what? You see this? Yeah, because of this, we have to take this away. Okay? You see, because of that, we gotta take those stuff away from you guys. You guys can't behave. And what's crazy too is it was yesterday during President Zelensky's speech. Do y'all know that he even mentioned Charlie Kirk? He even spoke about Charlie Kirk. This man is global right now. And I don't know him for doing what? What is he known for doing? He's nowhere near Dr. Martin Luther King. Nowhere near him. He was nowhere near Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, the real movers and shakers of people. But yet, he's getting the same treatment as these men, where global leaders are weighing in on this man. He wasn't a politician. And this is why I said the world is a stage. They've all been briefed. They've all been briefed. Let me show you how staged. Let me show you how staged the world is. And I seen this video today on Instagram. I can't remember if somebody sent it to me or if I just was scrolling and I seen it. But shout out to you if you did, whoever you are, if you sent this to me, shout out to you. Right? And that's another thing that I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to get better at. Like really reading messages and responding to messages timely. Right? It'd be so much going on. It'd be so much going on. It'd be hard to keep track. But that's one thing that I tell myself I want to get better at. I even take the time to go back into old videos and look at comments, because even within the comments, this is a sidebar. Even in the comments, there'd be people that's looking for fellowship, and I would miss that. Right? So I'll go back and respond to messages to people who's looking for baptism or looking for a place to gather. Is upon I got to do that because what I'm saying is about helping God's people. So we don't want their messages to fall on deaf ears, right? But speaking about the world as a stage, let me show y'all this here. When I seen this, I was like, yo, it's like time and time again, they do the same thing, man. Hold on.
Too many similarities in this movie.
Hold on. Look, let me play this. Come on. And brothers and sisters, continue to hit that like button on your way in. Welcome to all of the people who are coming in and watching this broadcast right now. I know it's kind of late. What time is it? Right? But I see y'all still up. Y'all rocking with me. So we gonna keep rocking out, right? So now let's look at this video real quick. Right? And this is strikingly weird.
Happened. I hate to make conspiracies about this, but there are just way too many similarities in this movie and what happened to Charlie Kirk. So in a 1998 movie called Snake Eyes starring Nicolas Cage, a politician named Charlie Kirkland, a politician, gets assassinated in the neck in very almost identical spot. And it is during a boxing match on September 10th. Here's the poster.
You can't make this up even if you tried, brothers and sisters. This is insane.
Man starring in the fight is Tyler the Executioner. I usually don't believe in coincidences, but I just don't understand how this is possible. The same date, the big event, the big distraction is the fight of Tyler the Executioner. The name of the politician who got assassinated is Charlie Kirkland. It's wild. I hate to make conspiracies.
Coincidence? Huh? I'll let y'all be the judge. But you can't make none. I can't make none of this stuff up. As much as I would try to make something up, I can't. My brain is not this elaborate. I can't even think that far ahead. Let's watch this one more time.
But there are just way too many similarities in this movie and what happened to Charlie Kirk. So in a 1998 movie called Snake Eyes starring Nicolas Cage, a politician named Charlie Kirkland, a politician, gets assassinated.
Charlie Kirkland? That was the name of the politician in the movie.
In very almost identical spot. And it is during a boxing match on September 10th. Here's the poster. And the man starring in the fight is Tyler the Executioner. I usually don't believe in coincidences, but I just don't understand how this is possible. The same date, the big event, the big distraction is the fight of Tyler the Executioner. The name of the politician who got assassinated is Charlie Kirkland. It's wild. I hate to make conspiracy.
And shout out to these people, man, who take the time out and research and find these proofs. Because I would have never known that. Like, how many people even seen this movie? I never seen this movie. I barely be watching Nicolas Cage movies. I'm not a fan of Nicolas Cage, so I would have never even seen that movie. But shout out to these people who take the time and find this information and put these things out. Because what? The name of the politician in the movie was Charlie Kirkland. The politician was assassinated in the neck, same way. And on the date, it was on the calendar was September 10th. Coincidence, guys. We live in a world of coincidences, right? Or is the world a stage? Yeah, is the world a stage? This is that one world conspiracy that's right in plain sight, guys. This is why, I wanted to talk about this. And if you still can't see that, it's because you don't want to see. It's because you don't want to see. And hold on. Matter of fact, it's because you don't want to see. One second. It's because you don't want to see. No. Let me fix this. It's because you don't want to see. There's another video I wanted to play. This thing fell off. Give me 1 second. Let me do this over. How do you turn this off? Give me 1 second. Let me close this window. Right? It's because you don't want to see, guys. You can't make this stuff up. It just is mind-boggling. The lengths that these people go, or that they will go, to keep you confused, to keep you in the dark. There was something I wanted to show. Did I? I don't think I saved it. I'll come back to that. I'm gonna go to the scripture. Let me go to the scripture. I want you guys to understand this. Matter of fact, before I go to that scripture, I'm gonna play this video because this all ties in with the AI, right? And I said I wanted to show y'all something concerning AI. And with the capabilities that they have with using AI, I won't be surprised if they use that and use someone's likeness or image to incite more of the fuel that we are seeing right now. So that way they can hurry up and speed up the process to removing the freedom of speech, to removing censorship, right? So that way it gives them more power to steer the narrative, right? Who's to say they're not going to be using AI to incite more of this race war? And they're gonna use this term, or to use this saying and say he was radicalized by his views. He was radicalized by a group that he was watching online, which gave him the radical views to come online and spew this hate. We got to do something about this freedom of speech. We got to do something about these radicals being able to say what they want, how they want, when they want. Don't be surprised if they use AI for that. And let me play this video. When I seen this video, that's when I knew. Okay? Hold on. That's when I knew we have arrived. The countdown has begun. They have to put things in place because everything has to be done by 2030. So don't be confused when you see these events. Take all these events that's going to be happening in the near future with a grain of salt. Don't get emotionally involved in what you see, because it's all an illusion. It's media. It's lie vision.
Friends, listen, what you're seeing right now is...
Hold on, I'm sorry.
We are crossing a line in human history where the boundary between reality and fiction is vanishing.
And this is not a Hollywood billion-dollar high-production studio. This is open source. This is from your computer, a click of a button, and most people will not...
Y'all see what's going on? Do y'all see what he's able to do? Y'all seeing this? He's talking, but the AI image of what he's saying is Taylor Swift. That's Taylor Swift, right? I think that's her. I don't know. That's Taylor Swift. But he's using Taylor Swift's likeness and he's speaking.
Able to even tell the difference now. So be safe out there, question what you see, verify what you believe, and follow who wants to stay ahead of the curve. Friends, listen, what you're seeing right now is crazy.
We are crossing a line in human history where the boundary between reality and fiction is vanishing. And
this is not a Hollywood billion-dollar high-production studio. This is open source. This is from your computer, a click of a button, and most people will not be able to even tell the difference now. So be safe out there, question what you see, verify what you believe, and follow who must stay ahead of the curve.
That is not scary, y'all. He's using Taylor Swift's image and it's her voice, but he's saying the words. Let's watch it one more time because this is crazy.
Friends, listen, what you're seeing right now is crazy.
We are crossing a line in human history where the boundary between reality and fiction is vanishing. And
this is not a Hollywood billion-dollar high-production studio. This is open source. This is from your computer, a click of a button, and most people will not be able to even tell the difference now. So be safe out there, question what you see, verify what you believe, and follow who must stay ahead of the curve. Friends,
we have arrived. We are here. So if regular people can use that technology and do that, and mind you, I always say this: the technology that they're releasing to us, they've been had this thing like 10 years ago. So they release it to us because they have been had it already. What they're using now is far more advanced than they're giving to the public. And if what we just witnessed or what we just saw, a regular person was able to use a famous person's image, likeness, and their voice, and was able to speak and was saying whatever he wanted to say and made the avatar say what he wanted it to say, best believe this is going to be used on a great, massive scale to push the narrative before 2030. So I don't care what you see on the news or media, whatever the case is, don't believe it unless you're physically there. But you know what you can believe? The word of the Most High. You can always count on the word of the Most High. And when I say you can count on the word of the Most High, you can always count on a sure word from the Most High. I'm in Psalms 46. Look at this. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. And brothers and sisters, trust me and believe me, we're going to need the Most High's help in these times. The times that we're coming into, we're going to need his help. It's best that you have his help than you don't have it. It's best that you have your life in order now rather than get there and then try to get your life in order. A lot of people is going to be calling for God in these times of trouble. And he not even going to be hearing them. He going to be like, oh, now you know me. Yeah. Oh, okay. Now you see me. Okay. But when I was calling, when I was tugging at your heart, telling you to come to church, join yourself with that brother over there. He got some wisdom. Listen to what he's saying. Maybe you should get baptized. Maybe what he's saying is not all false. When I was calling you then, you didn't hear me. Oh, but now you hear me. I'm sorry. Doors is closed. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear. What we got to fear, brothers and sisters? There's nothing for us to fear if we're on the right side of his judgment. The judgment that's going to be coming down from the Most High is going to be on those who've already chose a side. some of our family members, some of our co-workers and neighbors and friends and families, they've chose a side. Therefore, will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea, though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. There is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad, and the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. The Most High is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. Who's the her? Who's the she? Israel. The Most High shall help her, and that right early. The heathen rage, and we're seeing them do it right now. We're seeing the heathen rage. Don't be surprised with what you're seeing going on, the way they're talking, the way they're acting, right? The great lengths and the theatrics that they'll show you through media. They're gonna go through great lengths just to deceive you. Yeah. You little black boy and girl, ghetto black boys and girls in the hoods, in the ghettos. You don't have the finances to rival them, but yet they're concerned about you. You don't have the military might to go and pursue these nations, but yet they're focused on little old you. You don't have the finances to make laws change, to pass laws in your favor. You don't have enough money to do that, but yet they're worried and focused about you. They're meeting about you. Think about that. Think about that, y'all. How special are you really? How special are we really? When they got to spend all of this money, they got to do all of this for little old you. We sitting back, we trying to figure out how we're going to pay this bill. But they worried about you. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that something? The heathen rage. The kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, and the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. What? The Lord of hosts. And what does the word host means? For those of you who don't know, let me pull up the Strongs there. Hosts, so that way you guys could know. Right? Sabah. So it says a mass of persons. This could be figuratively, especially, regularly organized for what? War. An army. The God of the armies of heaven is with us. So this is the reason why I say we should not fear. Our God is a man of war. So they think that they're experts at war. Nah, our God is the man of war. Right? So now let's go back here. So this is why when I speak, I can speak confidently with full assurance of faith and not be afraid. Look at the God we serve. What? The Lord of the armies of heaven is with us. Who is he? The God of Jacob is our refuge. Come, behold the works of the Lord, what desolations he hath made in the earth. He maketh what? He maketh wars to cease unto the ends of the earth. He breaketh the bow and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariot in the fire. So all of their weapons of war, all of their chariots, all of their spacecraft, whatever they want to use, their technology, Most High gonna destroy all of that. He has the power to destroy all of that. And what's crazy is the Most High. This is how funny the Most High is. He'll let you think that you're doing something, and then laugh at you when he blow it all down. When the Most High sat back and watched them build the Tower of Babel, I was like, look at these fools. Look, they really think they're gonna be able to come up here and war against me. Yeah, Michael. Yeah, just go down there and confuse their languages real quick. You in the 70s. Just go confuse their languages real quick, and that's that. The Most High will make you think that he'll make them think that they got progress. They're progressing. Yes, we're almost close. We got the Space Force. We got all of this stuff. For him to just laugh at them and put them and have them in derision. Most High is something else, man. He says what? He says, be still. Do what? Be still. And know that I am God. This is what we all have to understand here. This is why we can't get emotionally charged and be emotionally driven by what the heathen is doing. You can't be frantic and like, oh my God, 2030, what we gonna do? What do you mean what we gonna do? What do you mean what we gonna do? What? Verse 7 says the God of the armies, the Lord of hosts, is with us. The God of our father Jacob is our refuge. So understand there's going to be a way out for us. Maybe not for the rest of the world, but for us, there's going to be a way out. So there is nothing to be afraid of. I can say that confidently. And even if some of us may die in the process of it, they still didn't win, because why? You'll be right with the Father and returning with Christ and his army. So what did they really accomplish? This is why verse 10 says, be still and know that I am God. Stop moving ahead of the Most High. Most High didn't send you in certain places where you at. Be still and know that I'm God. I will be exalted. See, and when you see this word right here, words like will, shall, these are definitive words. This is a definite. This is an absolute word. He said, I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. That's a sure statement. This is what they're afraid of. This is why they meet yearly. This is why they got to plan your health. The World Health Organization have to come together to make sure you're safe. Yeah, okay. This is why they got to take laws away from us. This is why they got to put other nations against us. Because of him. He's coming. He's coming for them. Let me read the rest here because it's cut off on your screen, but it says the Lord of hosts is with us. And you see, he says it again. The God of the armies of heaven is with us. And he says it again. The God of Jacob is our refuge. What do we got to be afraid of, y'all? If we're on the right side of judgment, that's our protection. That's who's protecting us. If you're on the right side of judgment, you got to be on the right side of judgment for the God of hosts, or the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of heaven, to be with you, to be your refuge. And a lot of you guys are, maybe on the fence. You have to search out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Listening to us from week to week is not the only thing that you need to be doing. We just come on from week to week to sound the alarm. Because there's going to be a time where that alarm will not sound anymore. You heard them. They looking to take away the freedom of speech. They looking to not have us be able to have free thought. They want the central thought to come from the government. That includes people breaking down the Bible online. Us. So there's going to be a time where we're not going to be here to sound the alarm. And you're going to have to move with whatever you have obtained, with whatever you have acquired. So now you think about it. Would you rather do it on your own, or would you rather do it with those who are like-minded with Christ, with you? You think about it. Because there is a one world conspiracy. And it's in plain sight. And in those who can see, the Most High will give you the eyes and ears to see and hear and to prepare accordingly. But those of you guys who think that is never going to happen, or this is just a fairy tale, or that's the white man book, the white man wrote it, this and that, Christ not coming back, the rapture. Yo, they had the rapture yet. What was it, yesterday? Yesterday was the rapture, or the day before? The rapture's coming. We don't got to worry about nothing because the rapture's going to come and take me. All right. Good luck. Godspeed. Godspeed. But for those of you guys who understand what's coming and can see it and see what they're doing and see how they're planning day in and day and night out, they're not resting. You know what to do. So, brothers and sisters, let's stay committed to our God. Let's stay on the right track. There's going to be a lot of temptation, a lot more than ever before, because we're at the tail end of this thing. So temptations are going to be coming back to back to back to throw you off the path. I'm telling you, to throw you off that path. But you got to go through it. You got to overcome it. Hold on. You got to overcome it. Because your salvation depends on it. Hold on, let me read the scripture to you. Oh, wait, hold on. Give me a second. Right? Let me read this scripture to you. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I'm in 2nd Esdras. This scripture came to mind when I said that. Because there's going to be a lot of temptations coming. A lot. Because like I said, we're at the end. So these demons are going to be at work. They're going to try to throw you off the path, understanding what's coming. You think they're trying to go to hell by themselves? They need company. They need company. And they're trying to get you to go to hell with them. Look at this. I'm going to start at right here. Look. I'm going to start at verse 2. It says, "And he said unto me, Up, Esdras, and hear the word that I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my God. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow, and like a river. Who then can go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? So understanding that the sea was set in a wide place, but in order to get to it, it was a narrow path. Right? It says, there is also another thing. A city is built. See, look at Siri. I am not talking to you. This technology be listening. But it says, verse 6, it says, there is also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field and is full of all good things. And that city is the kingdom. That's New Jerusalem. Right? Look, the entrance thereof is narrow. See, it's a narrow path and is set in a dangerous place to fall. Like as if there were fire, that there were a fire on the right hand and on the left, a deep water. So if you go to the left, you're going to fall in the water. But if you go to the right, you're going to fall in the fire. So you got to stay on that narrow path. Like the path is so narrow, you could only walk 1 foot in front of the other to make it. Right? And he says, and one only path between them both. So there's only one path. Even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. You see that? So we got to understand that this path that we're on is going to be is a narrow path. Not everybody's going to make it. But the temptations are going to be on the left hand and right hand. But you got to make sure you stay on that path. Just walk that path diligently. Right? Daily. Not wavering. Because that path is narrow and only a select few is going to make it. See, if this city is now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive the inheritance? So this life, to sum it up, it's a trial. It's a trial to see who will make it, the best out of the best. And in order for you to obtain it and to appreciate it, you have to go through the trials of this life to understand the beauty of the end of it. At the end of this life, going through all of the trials and tribulation of this current life to be able to inherit all things and to appreciate it when you do get it. Because why? The first man, the first Adam, was just given everything without being tried, without being tested. And look where it got him. So now this new Adam have to go through this process. And this is why I said we're going to go through, best believe there's going to be a lot of temptation moving forward. In your personal life, in everyday life, you're going to see it. It's going to present itself to the point where like, yo, this is really happening right now. And you got to have the know-how to resist. Because why? What profit a man to gain the whole world, then at the end to lose his own soul? What's the profit of it? We see where this world is heading. It's heading to hell. Right? So, brothers and sisters, I'm happy that we had this conversation to keep us back in focus. I know we just got back from tabernacles. We was in chill mode, right? The leisure of just getting up when you wanted to, you know what I'm saying? Camping next to your brothers and sisters, eating fresh food every day, right? Communion with your brothers. You know what I mean? It made you forget about the world for a week. And that's why I'm so appreciative of feasts like that, like tabernacles, where for 1 week, I don't got to worry about my bills, even though they still there. Like, I'm coming back to the bills. But when I'm there, I don't got to worry about none of that. I don't really care about what's happening in the outside world, because right now here, Tabernacles, this is my world right here. This is my world. So I know we some of us are still in that mindset. But I wanted to talk about this conversation to reel you guys back in and understand, stay focused. This is what's happening. This is where we at. This is what needs to get done. And let's get it done. Right? So all praises be to the Most High. Thank you all for hitting that like button. You guys did a great job doing that. Thank you guys for all coming in. And it's 11:30. And you guys are here, man. You guys are here. You guys are here.
You could be anywhere in the world, but you're now tuned into the Born of Levi experience.
Listen, man, I appreciate you guys, and I pray that you guys were edified tonight. And I pray that you guys receive something. And if you didn't know that this was coming, I hope you guys take the proper steps, take the proper measures to correct what you haven't done before, and put things in place so that way you could be protected, so you could be out of harm's way when push comes to shove. Because listen, we're all in it together. Black, white, Asian, Arab, we're all in it together. Because why? Lucifer has a gripe with all humanity. Jacob first, and then the rest of the nations. So I appreciate you all for coming in. This was a great conversation, great broadcast. I'm so happy to be back. Right? That's my time. And I pray that you all have a blessed night. I pray that you all have a blessed day tomorrow. Those who are going to work, or if you're going to work, school, right? Have a great Sabbath prep. And, have a great Sabbath, this coming Sabbath, if you're gathering in person or at home, right? Have a great one until next week, right? I'll see you all next week. I appreciate you. Love you all. Continue to stay prayed up, because prayer is our lifeline, right? If you're not praying, you need to reconsider what you're doing. Rethink what you're doing. Right? Stay prayed up. Right? All right. Stay prayed up and resist the devil, and he shall flee from you. And that is my time. And I'm out of here. See you on the next one. Shalom.
Are you tired of reading the Bible and not really understanding what it means? Yo, you're reading the book upside down? I need a teacher. I got the perfect solution for you. The Hebrew and Bible Academy got you all covered. There, you'll learn the original Hebrew language with Elder Lawya, groundbreaking news from around the world with Elder Rawchaa, and all new up-to-date lessons, including ancient history, with Elder Rawchaa. Visit us at historytimes.org and enroll there. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited.